When it comes to understanding whether a woman truly likes you, emotional availability always reveals the truth. You can't fake genuine connection for long. It shows in her tone, in her attention, and in the emotional energy she brings into your presence. A woman who genuinely feels drawn to you doesn't keep you guessing. She doesn't send mixed signals or make you feel like you have to chase her just to get a moment of her time. Instead, there's a sense of openness, a quiet emotional receptivity that tells you she's present, engaged, and emotionally invested. See, attraction isn't only about looks or charm, it's about energy. It's about how she feels when she's around you. A woman who truly likes you naturally lets her guard down little by little. She shows curiosity about your life. She remembers small details you didn't even think mattered. She doesn't just ask surface level questions. She wants to understand what drives you, what inspires you, and what you're working toward. That's not random interest, it's emotional investment. When a woman feels emotionally safe, she opens herself up to the possibility of connection. That openness is a clear sign of genuine affection. Most men, unfortunately, overlook this subtle emotional availability because they're too focused on verbal confirmation. They want her to say, I like you. But women rarely express interest that way, especially early on. Instead, they communicate it emotionally through tone, warmth, and consistency. Her availability is seen in the effort she puts into maintaining the connection. When she's emotionally interested, she doesn't disappear for days. She engages, she follows up, she checks in because she cares. Now, let's talk about the deeper psychology behind this. Emotional availability is not about constant attention, it's about emotional alignment. When a woman likes you, her emotional rhythm syncs with yours. She starts reflecting your energy, often without realizing it. You'll notice it in how she starts matching your mood, your pace, even your communication style. That's not manipulation. It's human nature. It's the subconscious aligning of two emotional frequencies. And when that alignment is real, it feels effortless. You don't have to force the conversation or chase validation. It flows naturally. A woman who is emotionally available doesn't hide behind emotional armor. She's not testing you with silence or manipulation. She's open because she's genuinely drawn to you. She's emotionally present because being connected to you feels safe and exciting at the same time. That's what real interest looks like. It's peaceful, not chaotic. It doesn't confuse you, it calms you. The challenge for most men is that they confuse emotional availability with intensity. Just because a woman is passionate or flirty doesn't mean she's emotionally open. Some women project excitement but keep their walls up. Emotional availability runs deeper. It's in the consistency of her actions. Does she show up when she says she will? Does she listen when you speak? Does she make you feel seen and heard? Or does she constantly distract herself with her phone or social media while you're talking? These small signals matter because they tell you where her emotional energy truly lies. When a woman likes you, she's not afraid to be vulnerable in subtle ways. She'll share parts of her day, open up about what bothers her, or express appreciation for your presence in her life. These are glimpses into her emotional world, signs that she feels comfortable enough to be real. And that's where true connection begins. It's not in the grand gestures or romantic words. It's in those quiet moments where her authenticity speaks louder than anything she could say. But here's the flip side. If she's emotionally unavailable, you'll feel it immediately. There will be hesitation in her tone, inconsistency in her behavior, and distance in her communication. You'll sense that she's physically present, but emotionally detached. That's not love. That's emotional uncertainty. And no amount of effort or persuasion on your part can change that. Emotional availability cannot be forced. It must be freely offered. So when a woman shows emotional openness, value it. Recognize it as one of the clearest indicators of genuine interest. Don't rush it. Don't smother it, and don't doubt it. Instead, respond with your own emotional groundedness. Meet her openness with presence. That's how trust and attraction deepen. The connection grows not from trying harder, but from being more authentic. At the end of the day, the truth is simple. A woman who genuinely likes you will reveal it through her emotional energy. You'll feel it in how she looks at you, listens to you, and makes you feel at ease. Love, in its most honest form, is transparent. It doesn't hide behind fear or games. So, if her emotions are available to you, if her presence feels real and her connection consistent, that's all the proof you need. When a woman truly likes you, she creates space for you in her world. Not because she has to, but because she wants to. It's not about obligation, it's about emotional desire. When you matter to her, she finds subtle yet meaningful ways to bring you into her life. It might be a message in the middle of the day, a small story she shares just to keep you involved, or even the way she prioritizes seeing you despite her busy schedule. A woman who genuinely likes you doesn't look for reasons to stay distant. She looks for opportunities to stay connected. Most men overlook this because they expect affection to always look grand or obvious. But in reality, genuine attraction expresses itself quietly. A woman who likes you might not say it directly, but her behavior will reveal it again and again. You'll notice how she starts weaving you into the rhythm of her daily life, her thoughts, her routines, even her future plans. You go from being someone she talks to occasionally to someone whose presence naturally fits into her world. That's not coincidence, it's emotional inclusion. And here's the key: women don't create space for just anyone. Feminine energy invests selectively. When she makes time for you, it's because there's something about your presence that feels emotionally fulfilling. She feels drawn to your energy, your consistency, your masculine calm. That's what motivates her to reach out, to share, and to stay involved. Real attraction is not about chasing attention, it's about mutual emotional gravity. You pull each other into alignment through genuine connection. When a woman starts to integrate you into her world, she begins sharing parts of her personal life. She opens up about her family, her work, her goals, or even her insecurities. This isn't idle conversation, it's trust forming. Women don't open up emotionally unless they feel safe with a man. When she does, it's her way of saying, "You matter. I want you to know who I am." That's one of the strongest signs that her attraction is real. Creating space also means she begins including you in her future thinking, sometimes subtly. Maybe she says, "We should go there one day," or "You'd really like this place." Those small statements might seem casual, but they're loaded with meaning. They show that she's already envisioning experiences with you in her future. That's how women communicate long-term interest, not always with grand declarations, but with consistent emotional investment. The psychology behind this runs deep. Love at its core is an expansion of the self to include another. When someone truly cares for you, their world naturally expands to make room for you. And that's what happens when a woman likes you. Her inner circle, her thoughts, and her daily priorities slowly shift to accommodate you. She's not rearranging her life out of neediness. She's doing it out of emotional resonance. Something about your presence adds value to her experience of life, and she wants more of it. But it's important to understand the balance. A healthy, confident woman won't abandon her independence for you. She doesn't stop living her life or pursuing her goals. Instead, she invites you into her world. She blends connection with individuality. That's the mark of mature attraction. You'll see that she's still focused, still living with purpose, but within that, she consistently finds ways to include you. That's the sweet spot between emotional openness and self-respect. Too often, men make the mistake of thinking they need to earn that space by overgiving, chasing, or proving their worth. But in reality, you don't have to convince a woman who genuinely likes you to make space for you. She'll do it naturally. Real attraction doesn't require persuasion. It flows from alignment. If you're confident, grounded, and emotionally centered, her instinct will be to draw closer. That's how polarity works. Masculine presence creates emotional safety, and feminine energy responds to that safety with connection. And you'll notice something powerful. The effort becomes mutual. She begins to invest emotionally, not because you asked her to, but because she feels compelled to. You'll see her initiate more, communicate more, and engage with genuine enthusiasm. She doesn't treat your presence as an afterthought. She values it as part of her emotional life. That's when you know the attraction is authentic. There's also a philosophical beauty in this process. When a woman creates space for you, she's expressing one of the purest forms of feminine love, the desire to nurture connection. It's a form of emotional generosity. It says, you belong here. And when you recognize that gesture for what it is, you begin to see that love isn't something to be forced. It's something to be earned by presence. At the end of the day, if a woman is truly interested, she will not hide it behind distance or distraction. She'll reach out, stay involved, and make sure you feel seen. She won't let days slip by without contact, and she won't keep you guessing about where you stand. She'll find small, meaningful ways to remind you that you're on her mind. And that's her heart's way of saying you matter. Before a woman ever says she likes you, her body already has. Her eyes, her smile, the way she positions herself around you, all of it communicates more honestly than words ever could. Attraction at its core is emotional energy expressed through the body. And when a woman truly likes you, that energy leaks out naturally. You'll see it in the way she looks at you, the way she responds when you speak, and even in the small, unconscious movements that reveal her inner feelings long before she's ready to admit them out loud. A woman who's drawn to you won't have to announce it. Her eyes will do most of the talking. That deep, lingering gaze that lasts a second too long, the spark in her expression when she notices you walking into a room, those are all indicators of genuine attraction. Eye contact is one of the purest, oldest forms of human connection. It bypasses logic and speaks directly to emotion. When she maintains that gaze, it's not just about curiosity, it's about comfort. She feels safe enough to see you and let you see her. That's an unspoken signal that she's emotionally open to the connection, but it's not just her eyes that reveal it. Pay attention to her body language, the way she leans in when you talk, how her shoulders relax around you, how her feet point in your direction when you're in a group setting. These subtle cues may seem insignificant, but they're the body's instinctive way of saying, I'm interested. You can't fake that level of alignment. When a woman is emotionally or physically drawn to someone, her entire physiology shifts toward that person. It's biology at work. Her body literally moves closer to what it desires. The beauty of this is that it's subconscious. A woman doesn't sit there and plan how to act around someone she's attracted to. She just responds naturally. That's what makes these signs so reliable. They come from instinct, not strategy. And that's why men who are emotionally aware, calm, and observant tend to notice them more. They're not busy chasing or performing, they're simply paying attention. Presence is the key. When you're fully present, you pick up on these subtle signals, and more importantly, you allow her to feel seen without judgment. One of the strongest nonverbal signs of attraction is mirroring. When a woman starts unconsciously copying your gestures, your tone, or your rhythm of speech, that's not coincidence, it's connection. Her subconscious is trying to create harmony. It's her emotional self saying, I feel aligned with you. That kind of synchronization doesn't happen when someone's indifferent. It happens when two people's energies begin to resonate. You'll also notice a certain softness in her demeanor. Her tone changes. Her laughter becomes warmer, more genuine. The tension in her face eases, and she starts smiling more freely around you. That's the emotional chemistry translating into physical expression. When she feels comfortable and emotionally safe, her feminine energy naturally flows outward. You can feel it in the warmth of her gaze and the ease of her movements. But attraction isn't always loud. It's not always flirtatious or obvious. Sometimes it's in the small, quiet gestures, the way she fixes her hair when you're talking, how she subtly adjusts her posture when you walk by, or the light touch she gives on your arm when she's making a point. Those aren't accidents. They're expressions of nervous excitement and emotional connection trying to find a physical outlet. From a psychological standpoint, women are deeply intuitive. They often communicate attraction through feeling rather than direct confession. And when those feelings are genuine, her body language becomes congruent with her emotions. You'll sense that she's present with you, not distracted, not guarded, but engaged. That engagement is one of the clearest indicators that her attraction runs deeper than surface level interest. And here's where many men go wrong. They look for verbal confirmation rather than emotional evidence. They ask, do you like me? When the answer is already being expressed in 1,000 nonverbal ways. You don't need to force clarity from someone who's already showing you through her energy. Real confidence comes from trusting what you observe and allowing the connection to unfold naturally. When a woman truly likes you, her entire being will reflect it. Her eyes will light up when she sees you. Her body will subtly orient itself toward you. Her energy will shift to match yours. You'll feel it, not just see it. Because attraction isn't about reading signs like a checklist. It's about feeling presence. When you're grounded in who you are, her signals become unmistakable. You sense the warmth, the openness, the curiosity. That's emotional alignment. And the deeper truth behind it all is this love begins long before words are spoken. It starts in the silence between two people who recognize something familiar in each other. The body reveals what the mind tries to conceal. Her eyes tell you what her heart already knows. So pay attention. Don't chase, don't overanalyze, and don't try to force clarity. Just observe her energy, her expressions, and her effort to be near you. When a woman truly likes you, she seeks emotional safety, not attention. That distinction is everything. You see, attention is easy to get. Anyone can be charming for a night, dress well, say the right words, or play the social game to attract temporary interest. But what separates a real emotional connection from surface level attraction is how safe she feels being her authentic self around you. A woman who genuinely likes you doesn't just want to feel desired, she wants to feel understood, accepted, and emotionally secure in your presence. This is where many men get it wrong. They confuse a woman's interest in conversation or flirtation with deep emotional investment. But a woman can enjoy attention and still keep her walls high. She can laugh with you, compliment you, and even flirt, yet remain emotionally guarded. True interest, the kind that leads to something meaningful, only emerges when she feels safe enough to let her guard down. Emotional safety is what allows her to be real, to stop performing, stop testing, and simply be herself. When a woman feels that level of safety with a man, she starts revealing more than what's obvious. She'll share personal stories, her fears, her disappointments, her insecurities, the things she normally hides from the world. That's not weakness, that's trust. It's her saying, I feel like I can be seen here and I won't be judged for it. And that moment when she opens up in that way is one of the most powerful indicators that her attraction is genuine, because no woman reveals her inner world to a man she doesn't emotionally respect or feel safe with. Now, emotional safety doesn't come from being overly nice, submissive, or constantly agreeing with her. It's not about validation. It's about stability. It's the way you handle yourself when she's emotional, uncertain, or distant. When you stay grounded, calm, and confident, even when she's expressing something vulnerable or uncomfortable, that tells her something crucial. You can handle her truth. And for women, that's everything. They want to feel that your strength isn't just physical or verbal, but emotional. Emotional safety is the invisible foundation of attraction. Without it, love can't deepen. Think about it. How can anyone fall for you if they don't feel free to be themselves around you? A woman who's constantly filtering her words, second, guessing her feelings, or afraid of how you'll react isn't connecting. She's protecting herself. But the moment she realizes she can express herself without punishment or rejection, her emotional energy opens up like a flower in sunlight. That's when you see the real her. Philosophically, emotional safety is the space between chaos and control. It's balance. A healthy masculine presence creates that balance naturally. You don't have to say much. You don't have to chase or reassure constantly. You just be calm, consistent, emotionally self-controlled. That kind of presence tells a woman's nervous system that she's secure with you. And when she senses that, she stops testing, stops hiding, and starts nurturing the connection instead. This is why confident men rarely struggle with mixed signals. They don't need to decode every text or read between every line. They trust what they observe because they understand that a woman's need for emotional safety is primal. It's not manipulation, it's instinct. She's not trying to test your patience, she's testing the stability of your energy. She's asking in her own unspoken way, Can I trust this man with my vulnerability? And when your energy answers yes, through patience, consistency, and presence, she softens. When she feels emotionally safe, her behavior transforms. She becomes more affectionate, more open, more expressive. You'll notice her laughter comes easier, her tone becomes warmer, and her resistance fades. That's not coincidence, it's the natural result of trust. Her guard drops not because she was convinced to, but because she wants to. And once that happens, her love begins to flow freely. The truth is, women don't fall for the man who gives them the most attention. They fall for the man who gives them the deepest peace. The man who doesn't make them question their worth, who doesn't react out of ego, who stays steady no matter what mood or emotion arises. Because peace is the ultimate form of attraction. It allows love to breathe. It allows connection to feel safe. So if you ever find yourself wondering whether a woman truly likes you, don't just look at how much she flirts or how often she texts. Look at how much of her real self she shows you. Look at whether she trusts you with her emotional truth. That will tell you more than any words ever could. And if she does open up, if she lets you see her unfiltered emotions, her insecurities, or her struggles, understand what a rare privilege that is. It means you've reached a level of emotional intimacy that many men never experience. The right response in that moment isn't to try to fix her or impress her. It's simply to listen, to understand, and to hold space for her. Because at the end of the day, that's what love really is. Creating a space where both people can exist without fear. When a woman truly likes you, she shows it through cooperation, not resistance. Real attraction doesn't manifest as drama, defiance, or constant emotional battles. It shows up as harmony. A woman who's genuinely interested in you doesn't make everything a power struggle. Instead, she aligns her energy with yours. That doesn't mean she won't have opinions or emotions. Of course, she will, but her approach will come from a place of connection, not conflict. She'll want things to work, not to win. You can always tell the difference between a woman who's emotionally connected and one who's emotionally guarded by the tone of her interaction. A woman who likes you communicates with warmth, respect, and patience, even when she disagrees. There's a softness to her that signals emotional safety. She listens, she considers your perspective, and she values your presence. Her words and energy flow with cooperation rather than competition. That's the feminine essence responding to grounded masculine energy. The truth is, resistance often comes from fear of vulnerability, fear of rejection, or fear of losing control. When a woman is unsure about you or about herself, she'll often create emotional friction as a way to test the bond. But when she feels genuinely secure with you, that resistance dissolves. She doesn't feel the need to challenge your every move or dominate the emotional space. She can relax into your leadership, not because she's weak, but because she trusts your strength. That's a profound shift in energy from guarded independence to cooperative connection. A woman who likes you will respect your time, your values, and your boundaries. She won't constantly push to see how far she can go or try to pull you into unnecessary conflict. Instead, she'll want to understand you. Cooperation is her way of saying, I value this connection enough to protect it. It's emotional maturity expressing itself through behavior. And this isn't about submission. It's not about one person overpowering the other. It's about emotional alignment. When two people are truly connected, there's an unspoken rhythm, a balance between masculine direction and feminine flow. She doesn't have to fight for control, and you don't have to force authority. Both of you naturally find your roles within that dynamic. She brings emotional depth, you bring stability. She nurtures, you lead. Together, that creates harmony. One of the biggest misconceptions in modern dating is the belief that constant challenge equals attraction. People confuse emotion to know that cooperation strengthens connection while resistance destroys it. Psychologically, cooperation is a woman's most natural form of affection. It's her way of showing emotional investment. When she cares about you, she wants to make things easier for you, not harder. She won't withhold affection to gain control. She won't use silence or withdrawal to manipulate outcomes. Instead, she'll communicate openly. She'll express her emotions, but also listen to yours. That balance creates an emotional foundation that builds trust over time. You can feel it when a woman respects you. She looks to you with admiration. She wants your opinion. She values your leadership. That's because real attraction is rooted in respect. A woman may be physically attracted to many men, but she only emotionally invests in the one she respects. And that respect grows from how you carry yourself, your confidence, your consistency, your integrity. When you embody masculine strength, she naturally mirrors that through cooperative energy. This is where the philosophical depth of love comes in. Cooperation isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the understanding that connection requires harmony, not ego. When a woman cooperates, she's not giving up her power, she's channeling it into unity. And that's what true feminine power looks like. It enhances rather than competes. It uplifts rather than challenges for dominance. It contributes to growth instead of creating resistance. You'll notice that when a woman truly likes you, she seeks resolution, not escalation. Even if you have disagreements, her intention is to find understanding. She might get emotional, but she doesn't become destructive. She doesn't hold grudges or weaponize her feelings. She values peace over pride. That's how you know her love is sincere. She fights for the relationship, not within it. For a man, the key is not to confuse this cooperation with compliance. It's not about expecting a woman to agree with everything you say. It's about recognizing when her actions come from a place of love and trust. If you maintain emotional control, communicate with clarity, and stay grounded in your values, you naturally invite that cooperation from her. When love is real, both people start operating as a team. The energy shifts from me versus you to against the world. And that shift is what defines a mature, evolved relationship. A woman who truly likes you will want to build with you, not battle you. She won't create unnecessary distance. She'll look for ways to close it. When a woman truly likes you, she reflects your energy, not just your words. Attraction, at its deepest level, is an emotional mirror. Women don't connect to what you say nearly as much as how you make them feel. They respond to your energy, your state of mind, your presence. If you're calm, confident, and emotionally grounded, she'll reflect that same energy back to you. If you're anxious, uncertain, or insecure, she'll mirror that too, often by pulling away, going cold, or becoming inconsistent. The emotional tone you set determines how she shows up. You see, feminine energy is reactive by nature. It flows with the energy it feels, not the energy it's told to trust. This is why you can't talk a woman into liking you. You can only inspire that feeling through your state. Words might convince her mind for a moment, but your energy speaks directly to her emotions. A woman doesn't consciously decide to mirror you, she does it instinctively. When she's drawn to you, her emotions sync with yours. If you're lighthearted, she becomes playful. If you're centered, she feels safe. And when you're distant or uncertain, she becomes restless or confused. That's why one of the greatest truths in relationships is this: how she behaves around you is often a reflection of you. Not in the sense that you control her emotions, but that you influence the space between you. Your presence either invites her openness or triggers her defenses. When you're solid within yourself, secure, composed, emotionally stable, she can relax into her feminine energy. She doesn't have to overthink, overanalyze, or guard her heart. She can just be. Now, this idea goes beyond simple body language or attraction psychology. It's philosophical. Love, in its purest form, is resonance. It's two energies aligning through mutual emotional clarity. A woman mirrors what she feels because that's how her intuition connects. She senses your truth long before you ever speak it. You can tell her you're confident all day long, but if you're secretly nervous or needy, she'll pick it up immediately. That's why your emotional state matters more than your appearance, your words, or your strategy. You can't fake energy. A woman who genuinely likes you will begin to reflect your vibe naturally. When you're calm, she feels peaceful. When you lead with purpose, she becomes more supportive. When you're playful and relaxed, she mirrors that same lightness. That emotional dance between masculine stability and feminine responsiveness is what creates chemistry. It's not logical, it's energetic. The deeper her attraction grows, the more her emotions will align with yours. The problem most men face is that they try to control the connection rather than influence it through emotional mastery. They over pursue, over text, or constantly seek reassurance. That needy behavior doesn't draw her closer, it repels her. Why? Because it communicates insecurity. It tells her that you're looking for validation instead of radiating self-worth. And when she senses that imbalance, she instinctively pulls back. Not because she doesn't care, but because she's responding to instability. On the other hand, when you're emotionally self-sufficient, everything changes. You don't chase, you attract. You don't demand love, you inspire it. Your presence becomes magnetic because it feels peaceful. She doesn't feel pressure around you, she feels possibility. That's when her affection becomes effortless. She mirrors your composure with warmth. She starts to initiate more. She communicates freely. And the more consistent your energy remains, the more consistent hers becomes in return. Think of it this way: women are emotional amplifiers. Whatever energy you project, they magnify. If you bring confidence, she reflects admiration. If you bring chaos, she reflects confusion. The woman who likes you the most will often mirror your emotional tone the strongest. That's why emotional self-control isn't just attractive, it's essential. A grounded man creates a grounded woman. A peaceful man inspires a peaceful love. This is also why the most powerful men don't react emotionally to temporary situations. They don't panic when a woman pulls away or becomes distant. They don't overthink every silence. They trust their value, stay centered, and allow her space to realign emotionally. And ironically, that very composure is what draws her back, because feminine energy always gravitates toward masculine strength. When a woman truly likes you, she reflects not just your mood, but your character. She becomes softer when you're firm, calmer when you're confident, and more affectionate when you're patient. That mirroring is nature's confirmation that attract pace your emotional state. If she does, that's her heart responding to yours. That's attraction on a soul level. At the end of the day, attraction isn't about convincing her to like you. It's about being the kind of man whose energy naturally inspires her affection. When you embody emotional stability, presence, and self-respect, she won't be able to help but reflect that back.